industry, you will encounter an irate customer. Irate customers come in two kinds. There's the irate customers who are not verbally abusive, they're just upset, but there are also those irate customers who are verbally abusive. And today, we're going to talk about how to handle each of them. Customer is verbally abusive when her comments are racist, sexist, homophobic, or when she's attacking you personally. When she's yelling louder and louder, and when there's repeated and consistent profanities. First, I'm going to talk about how to deal with just a regular irate customer but not verbally abusive. And once that's done, I'm going to talk about how to deal with an irate customer and a verbally abusive one. So let's begin. So the step one, and the most important step, is to stay calm and listen without interruptions. Now this goes without saying because two parties just cannot solve a problem if both of them are upset. So if one is irate, one must be cool-headed. And that is you, the agent. And another thing is listening. Now when you listen to the customer, you're already telling her non-verbally that she has your full attention. You are willing to listen to her. She vents out her frustration, or when she vents out her emotional stress, that is the time, or that is the only time that she's going to be able to respond to a reason. This is specifically crucial at the early stage of the complaint where the customer is likely going to pour her heart out. She does that, make sure that you listen. Do not interrupt. When you interrupt, you're telling the customer no, that you're impatient and you couldn't care less about her problem. You're just going to antagonize the customer. Antagonizing the customer is the last thing that you want to do in customer service. Now, the step 2 would be to empathize, apologize, or assure, whichever applies depending on the situation. So apology is when the company made a mistake. You have to apologize, empathize. If the customer is experiencing an inconvenience, whether that inconvenience was caused by the company or caused by her, you still have to empathize.
More of these fees in the future. Thanks for working with me to figure it out. I want to apologize again for the inconvenience.
Thanks, Jason.
It's like telling your customer, I know how you feel, I understand how you feel, and the assurance is when you are going to tell the customer that you are going to do something certain for her. For example, you're telling the customer that don't worry, I will make this right for you.
I can understand your frustration. If I had purchased a drill and taken it home and twice it didn't work, I'd be really frustrated as well, especially when it was my valuable time that was.
If you're still unsure about the outcome of her issue, then you can still assure your customer by telling her that you're going to do everything you can to help her. This is still an assurance. And the step 3 would be to state the specific action that you are going to take to resolve the issue of the customer. Now, being specific is very important because you're telling the customer that you have a plan and you have an exact plan, that you know what you're talking about and that you're going to solve her problem.
Good morning, ma'am. How may I help you?
Gusto ko lang sana mag-complain, ba't kasi ganun yung linen, ang dumi ng bedsheet, tapos yung CR, hindi din ganun kalinis. Eh, nagbayad naman kami ng tama, bakit ganun yung service nyo?
I'm very sorry to hear that, ma'am, but may I know your complete name and your room number?
Dailin Almario, room 104.
Oh, okay. We should have done better than this. And normally, once the guests leave the room, yung housekeeping po namin is, ang protocol, dapat linisin na agad pag alis ng guest sa room. This was clearly not the case, and it was a huge mistake on our part, and I'm very, very sorry for that. I will immediately request the housekeeping department to clean your room the second time around, if that's okay with you.
So as you heard, the customer was a little upset, but there's still an apology. There was an empathy because there was an inconvenience, and there was definitely an assurance because there was something that the agent could do to help the customer with her inconvenience. So as you can see in this graphic, apology is yellow, empathy is red, and assurance is green. But what if there is no resolution? What if the customer is asking an impossible thing? Or what if there is just no alternative? What if the only way is to tell your customer no? What should you do? Well, in this case, just empathize with the customer and then give a reason why you can't. But the most important thing here is you need to be fair.
And ganyan ba intervention nyo? Mas okay sana kung lipat na lang kami siguro ng hotel.
Ma'am, I really understand your part and we are very sorry for this. I assure you that we will make this right this time. You will allow me. We will transfer you to another room instead na lumipat pa po kayo sa ibang hotel. And this room will be free of charge if that's okay with you.
Okay, sige, bibigyan ko kayo ng second chance. Pero sana sa susunod ayusin niyo yung service niyo dito. Alam ko naman din lahat nagkakamali. Asiguraduhin nyo free yung charge lahat ang paglipat namin ng room. Baka mamaya babalik ako dito para mag-complain ulit.
The step 4 would be to repeat steps 1, 2, 3 until the customer calms down. Do not expect that your customer is going to calm down immediately right after you perform the steps 1, 2, and 3 the first time because emotions are never rational.
Ma'am, I'm really sorry for disappointing you and the room will be free of charge. You don't have to spend any amount. You will just have to transfer to another room. Please let me know if you will need anything and we will assist you to the best of we can.
Assisting an irate customers, they usually start to calm down around second or third, or if the customer is super irate, fourth thrice. Fourth cycles of 1, 2, and 3. So just bear that in mind. It depends on the case of the customer and the customer itself. You're going to know that the customer has calmed down because her complaints will be less frequent and her tone will be less hostile. So you will definitely feel that as a human yourself, one of the best tips that I recommend to speed up this process of the customer calming down is to deliver bits of good news here and there, if there's any. An example of this would be you can say something like,
I'm so sorry, miss, for the inconvenience, but rest assured that I will talk to my manager to address your issue properly. We didn't expect that this will be happening, but don't worry, we will make it up to you, ma'am.